golf, they say it's louder. They were seen as upstarts. Their players were dismissed as has-beens. Their competitors now grudgingly admit this is no hit-and-giggle affair. Not all startups make a bang that's heard around the world in just 5 months. LIV Golf has shaken up the sports ecosystem. It's been controversial, but it's also riled up the game's existing powerhouses. So is LIV Golf a disruptor, or does it genuinely want to change the sport? We're here in Bangkok to find out. Stonehill Golf Course, a brand new facility on Bangkok's outer limits. Throw in some of golf's biggest names past and present and it's box office dynamite. LIV Golf's Asian pit stops in Bangkok and Jeddah have drawn in the crowds.
It's actually nice to actually be coming to Asia, and obviously that hasn't been the case through COVID and with how the last few years have panned out. So for me and a lot of the other guys that have traveled around the world playing golf for a very long time, it's actually really nice.
And it's not been as hostile as the previous legs in America. The team behind LIV Golf doesn't back down from a fight. It's been no holds barred for close to a year now. No side is backing down. The players have been the ones taking a pounding, be it on social media or in media conferences. In Bangkok, it wasn't business as usual. The autograph hunters and selfie seekers queued up at every corner of the course. Sports stars feed off the passion of their fans. It definitely wasn't in short supply.
That's the strength of this organization, is its ability to move throughout the world and bring golf at the highest level throughout the world, grow the interest in the game of golf throughout the world, and I would see that continuing to grow and develop even more here.
Phil Mickelson is one of golf's all-time greats. He won the 2021 PGA Championship at the age of 50, making him the oldest ever major winner. Eugenio Lopez Chacarra, the eventual winner at Bangkok, is 22. This circuit features an interesting mix of players. Cameron Smith is the reigning British Open champion and a major PR coup for LIV Golf. Dustin Johnson has been world number 1 for 135 weeks and is a 2-time major winner. Bryson DeChambeau has a legion of golf fans who are young and are LIV Golf's target audience. Brooks Koepka was golf's biggest draw in the years preceding the pandemic, and he remains a mentality monster as shown by his playoff win in Jeddah. There are 13 major winners currently signed up with LIV Golf. The majors are golf's biggest tournaments. There are 4 every year, just like the Grand Slams in tennis.
The products and the ideas that LIV Golf is bringing to the game, they're super positive. They're so new and exciting, not only for us but for fans, for sponsors. So I think that we're super happy and super excited about where we're headed.
Getting the players to buy into the project hasn't been easy. There have been speed bumps and potholes to negotiate. Most players earned multi-million-dollar bonuses to jettison their long-standing relationship with the PGA Tour, golf's preeminent circuit. It's opened them up to criticism of being greedy. But they prefer being referred to as pioneers.
It's a new entity, it's a startup business. It's a business which has got traction extremely quickly. It's grown a fan base extremely quickly. The viewerships are growing. They're kind of getting into the whole team format, just like we've understood, and that's the reason why we've got so many strong players playing in this series.
There has been a cost to joining LIV. Some have lost sponsors. They are no longer allowed to play on the PGA Tour. Yet it's a plunge most have taken for the sake of family time. A travelling professional is mostly living out of a suitcase. And the sport is rather brutal, rewarding only the very best.
We're absent, physically, emotionally, we're absent from the rest of our family. So I think when you're single and you're doing this and you're young, it's very easy to do all that. But I think as you get older, you have family, you want to do slightly different things. It doesn't mean that I don't want to play my best and be a thorough professional. But I do feel like I'm getting pulled in other directions, which is why moving to LIV Golf, probably playing a little less, spending more time with the family was also something that attracted me a lot towards this.
But even the best are now feeling the pinch. Cameron Smith was the toast of the sport after winning the historic 150th edition of the Open, golf's oldest major. But he too decided to swim against the tide. Rory McIlroy, the PGA Tour's lead spokesperson in the battle against LIV, reached out personally to stop him. The Australian, though, picked me time over the millions of dollars that were set to come his way in America.
To spend more time at home, not miss it out on, friends and families, weddings, and a couple of my friends have had kids over the last 4 or 5 years that I still haven't met, so that's going to be a part of my life that I can't wait to get back.
India number 1 Anirban Lahiri is 35 and recently became a father for the second time. His golfing dream took him to America, and he has paved the pathway for his fellow Indian players to reach the pinnacle of the sport. But it's come at a price. A price he is unwilling to pay anymore.
If you look at the job of playing professional golf, there's a huge demand on actually the family. I think the cost is borne by the wife and the kids, because once we get to a tournament, we are so focused on what we're doing. We kind of go into an alternate space where it's routine, and I need to go to the gym, wake up, do this, stretch, play, work out, practice, whatever it is. So we're almost so regimented that everything else ceases to exist for us.
The family at home will always be important, but there are new relationships being forged on LIV. Golf has always been an individual sport, and a player is out alone on the course with just his or her caddy for company. LIV Golf has a team competition as well, with 4 players making up a team. They don't usually play together during a tournament, but individual scores count towards the team total.
Everyone's playing for 20 million, but it's almost like the want to win the team championship is almost greater than individual glory. I know it sounds weird because it's, we're not talking about an established format or something that has a lot of history, but just the feeling of playing for your partners, playing for your team is something that is surprisingly bonding.
They aren't just playing for bragging rights. There's some significant money on offer. A winning team splits $3 million. The second place team bags $375,000 each, while it's $125,000 for the team finishing third. Dustin Johnson's 4 races have won 4 of the 7 tournaments in the inaugural season. And that's translated into a windfall in excess of $3 million for Johnson, Patrick Reed, Taylor Gooch and Pat Perez.
I'm buddies with all the guys, and I think we got a pretty good camaraderie with the team, and they all want to win just as much as I do. So I think that's the difference, and we've been playing well. So, I mean, it's real simple with golf. Whoever shoots the lowest score wins. That's what we've done.
Championship golf is traditionally played over 4 days in the men's game. There are 18 holes to be played daily, and players either start on the first hole or on the 10th tee. LIV Golf is challenging the established structure by opting for a 3-day 54-hole format with no cut. No player is eliminated at the halfway stage. Everyone makes money. $4 million to the winner of an invitational. $120,000 to the player who finishes with a wooden spoon.
It's another opportunity. It's another, avenue for professional golf. It's a different kind of golf, and I think there's enough space in the golfing world for this to coexist, and give people an option, to have alternate entertainment. For us, we're still doing the same things. We're still working really hard on our games, trying to play the best golf that we can.
54 in Roman numerals is written as LIV. That's how the circuit gets its name. There is also a shotgun start. All 48 players are on the course at the same time. Same conditions, same tee times. It's chaotic initially, but you get the hang of it soon enough.
I actually like it because I think it's fair to everyone. Everyone plays under the same conditions, and because sometimes we've seen so many times that if you play early morning or late afternoon, the weather can be totally different. So I think that's something that it levels the playing field, and it's something that I think it was a great move.
Fronting this circuit is an all-time great. His aggressive style of play earned Greg Norman the nickname the Great White Shark. Norman won 89 professional titles worldwide and spent a combined 331 weeks at the top of the world rankings. Today, the 67-year-old is persona non grata, ostracized by the same tours and tournaments he once headlined.
I knew I was going to be up front. I knew I was the one who's going to get most of it. But at the end of the day, I understood the model and how strong the model is. And to this day, is he not one person in this world that I have spoken to, from billionaires to CEOs to the regular people out here, have told me what we're doing is a stupid idea. Not one person.
Rory McIlroy, a former world number one, called LIV Golf dead in the water in February. He has since admitted he was way off the mark. But the PGA Tour isn't backing down. They constantly refer to LIV Golf as the Saudi League and term it nothing more than sport washing.
The PGA Tour hasn't been subtle by any means. It continues to refer to LIV as the Saudi League. A direct nod to where the money is coming from. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has thrown its financial might behind the project.
If this is an arms race, and if the only weapons here are dollar bills, the PGA Tour can't compete. The PGA Tour, an American institution, can't compete with a foreign monarchy that is spending billions of dollars in an attempt to buy the game of golf.
It's the sport washing barbs that sting. Saudi Arabia's human rights record is repeatedly brought up in an attempt to shame the players. The murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi by agents of the Saudi government is another stick to beat the league with.
The PGA Tour has some like 27 sponsors or title sponsors on the PGA Tour that do tens of billions of dollars worth of business in Saudi Arabia. So why is it okay for them, for those sponsors, to be with the PGA Tour and not with LIV? The hypocrisy is so deafening, it's crazy.
The civil war between the PGA Tour and the European Tour on one side and LIV on the other has torn golf apart. The PGA Tour is issuing indefinite bans the moment a member or former member tees off on the LIV circuit. LIV Golf calls the tour's stance monopolistic and has filed an antitrust lawsuit in California.
you can't run through a brick wall without getting bloody, right? And this brick wall that's been put up in front of us has been put up for 53 years. The PGA Tour has never had any competition in 53 years. No tour owns the game of golf. We don't own the game of golf. We don't want to own the game of golf. We want the game of golf to be beneficial about what we are, and what we have, and what we can give. So I don't get frustrated by it. It'll all work itself out, one way, shape, or form. LIV is not going to go anywhere.
PGA Tour has filed a counter lawsuit, accusing LIV of inducing players to breach contracts. It's gotten pretty ugly, and the thrusts and counter-thrusts are expected to continue in the lead up to the courtroom battle, with the trial date set for January 2024.
We've never tried to destroy any other tour organization. We want to show that our players have the right and want to go play other tours as well. And they do. Our players do go play other tours. But why is it that the other tours are saying you can't go play LIV? Or if you do play LIV, you can never come back here. That's not growing the game of golf.
The European Tour also hit its members with a fine and a ban from 3 tournaments that were co-sanctioned by the PGA Tour. But the pushback over there was stronger. European Tour stalwart Ian Poulter challenged the ban, and there is a stay till a final judgment is issued.
It's out there. There's the ability to add events. There's the ability to play multi-tours, as we have done always in the past. This shouldn't be any different.
But this power play has destroyed relationships and friendships. Teammates who carried the torch for Europe in the Ryder Cup are barely on speaking terms. It's pretty much them versus us.
I hate what it's doing to the game of golf. I hate it. I feel strongly. I believe what I'm saying are the right things, and I think when you believe that what you're saying is the right things, you're happy to stick your neck out on the line.
There are some positives though. The PGA Tour has been forced to look inwards and course correct. Players are central to all decisions now in a bid to stop the bleeding.
21 winner of the 47th playing of the Players' Championship.
Tiger Woods, the tour's alpha, is now firmly in the driver's seat and is effectively the shadow commissioner. McIlroy's stature and his willingness to slug it out has made him central to the tour's response as well. The purse strings have been opened. There are more elevated tournaments in the offing, and the divide between the good and the average players is even more prominent now.
This is a remarkable time for the tour. We have and always will be the ultimate platform for a player who wants to compete for the trophies and the titles that matter most.
Internal matter. The battle against LIV is very much a more pressing and existential one.
The circuit is underway, and a 14-event schedule for 2023 has been announced. But as things become clearer, more problems arise. The awarding of world ranking points has emerged as the latest flashpoint.
No ranking points are currently awarded on the LIV circuit. An application to the official World Golf Ranking Board is under review. LIV's attempt to tick the boxes following a strategic alliance with the Middle East and North African or MENA Tour has been blocked for the moment.
Just because you have a negative viewpoint and you're one of the voting members of an independent organization, that you hate LIV, that you're going to vote against it, grow up.
The world rankings provide a path into the majors. If you're ranked inside the top 50 of the world rankings, you're guaranteed an automatic berth. As things stand, just 12 LIV players are inside the top 50, and those rankings continue to slide each week. At this rate, only the major winners with exemptions will be able to tee off at Augusta, the first major of 2023.
Not all of them, but we certainly believe that there's enough that are in the top 50, and we deserve to be getting world ranking points. When they keep holding it back, they're just going to keep playing a waiting game where we're going to keep dropping down in the rankings to where our points won't ever matter. And that's what they're trying to accomplish, and I hope that people can see right through that rather than believe the lies that they've been told.
Leave the debate over 54 holes or 72 holes for the purists. There is an unmistakable vibe out here on the golf course. There's a sense of togetherness among the players as well. No doubt brought about by the extreme backlash they have received. This isn't a journey into the unknown. There's a serious business model at play here.
Greg Norman and his team are looking to innovate at every tournament. Players can play wearing shorts. You won't find that on the PGA Tour at the moment. But the return on investment is going to come through the team element. Or at least, that's what Norman and his management team are banking on.
Golf is the only sport in the world, if my memory is right, that hasn't had the opportunity to have PE money coming in. We have that opportunity now because you can invest in a franchise. And now you build that franchise up. And the bigger the franchise gets, the bigger the league gets.
It's a bold move. Yet, $1 billion here and there is small change for Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. Having been on the ground, we don't believe money is a factor anymore. LIV Golf wanted its own small share of the golfing ecosystem. The PGA Tour's pushback has only served to strengthen its resolve. 47, 47, 47, 47. The new circuit has broken through. It is players who command an audience. Can the majors, independent entities within that ecosystem, afford to exclude those players? In the end, money always talks, and there is a lot of it at stake.